Food Chains and Ecosystems by Heather Rady. The food chain describes who eats whom in the wild. Every living thing, from one-celled algae to giant elephants, needs food to survive. Each food chain is a pathway that energy and nutrients can follow through the ecosystem. What is an ecosystem? Well, there are many different ecosystems on Earth. An ecosystem is a biological community of interacting organisms and their physical environment. In other words, a place where living things live with each other and interact. A rainforest is an ecosystem. An ocean or river is an ecosystem, and even a cage with a mouse and some food with water is considered an ecosystem. How does the ecosystem work, you ask? Well, an example would be grass produces its own food from sunlight. A rabbit eats the grass, a fox eats the rabbit. And when the fox dies, bacteria breaks down its body, returning it to the soil, where it provides nutrients for plants, like grass. All living things can be a part of multiple food chains. All of the interconnected and overlapping food chains in an ecosystem make up a food web. Organisms and food chains are grouped into categories called trophic levels. Roughly speaking, these levels are divided into producers, consumers, and decomposers. Plants are what we call producers or autotrophs. They are called producers because they make their own food through the process of photosynthesis, and they make up the first level of every food chain. Photosynthesis is the process where plants create food from sunlight, carbon dioxide, and water. Plants are the most familiar type of autotroph, but there are many other kinds. Algae, for example seaweed, are autotrophic. Phytoplankton, which are tiny organisms that live in the ocean and feed many oceanic species, are also autotrophs. Even some types of bacteria are autotrophs. For example, bacteria living in active volcanoes uses sulfur compounds to produce their own food. The second trophic level consists of organisms that eat the producers. These are called primary consumers, or herbivores. Herbivores are plant eaters. Deer, turtles, and many types of birds are herbivores. Secondary consumers eat the herbivores, and tertiary consumers eat the secondary consumers. There may be more levels of consumers before a chain finally reaches its top predator. Top predators, also called apex predators, eat other consumers. For example, us. Humans can be considered both tertiary and apex predators. Consumers can be carnivores. Carnivores are animals that eat other animals, like a tiger or lion, or omnivores, which are animals that eat both plants and animals. Once again, the example is us. Omnivores, like people, consume many types of foods. People eat plants, such as vegetables and fruits. We also eat animals and animal products, such as meat, milk, and eggs. We eat fungi, such as mushrooms. We also eat algae and edible seaweeds like nori. If you don't know, nori is used to wrap sushi rolls. Detritivores and decomposers are the final part of the food chain. Detritivores are organisms that eat non-living plant and animal remains. For example, scavengers such as vultures eat dead animals. Dung beetles eat, wait for it, animal feces. Ugh, that's poop. Decomposers like fungi and bacteria complete the food chain. They turn organic wastes, such as decaying plants, into inorganic materials, such as nutrient-rich soil. Decomposers complete the cycle of life, returning nutrients to the soil or oceans for use by autotrophs. This starts a whole new food chain. As you can see, our environment is much more complex than it seems, and everything has a purpose on Earth. Nutrients make the world go round, and the food chain or web gets the nutrients where they need to go.